wake me up in the morning with a hot cup of porridge. Another love session she encourage. Make me start children in my back like me got cold storage. Love like this, it got no restrictions. So when we go to church on Sunday, no convictions. Me loving just like her medication. So the doctor put my name on a prescription. Love technician. Baby, tell me why you want me fix. Love technician. Good Lord, your first deposit is a kiss. A love technician. You no bank for screwdriver, no pliers, no vice grip. Technician, baby. Tell me why you want me to fix. Why? Tell me what you want me to fix. Baby, tell me what you want me to fix. Yeah, I'm your love technician. Baby, tell me why you want me fix. Tell me what you want me to fix. Baby, tell me what you want me to fix. I'm your love technician. Baby, tell me why you want me fix. In the morning, after devotion, so you can call your love technician. In the night time, or some commotion, why? In the daytime, when you start malfunction, why? I'm the doctor's recommendation, and I'm so glad, baby, to be your husband. Love technician, baby. She loves technician, baby. I just needed to get in.
Love Technician by Mr. Jaron Nurse. I hope that you all enjoy that one while I enjoy playing it for you. So those are the three songs that stand out. Four songs actually I played today that stood out in where, in the gospel arena where young men are expressing their love to their to the love of their heart. All right, so Trinidad and Tobago, it is Friday, and we want to thank again Empress Judy. We want to thank very, very much Mr. Dyer, Kingdom Health. Yeah, we want to thank Mr. Dyer from Kingdom Health, and we also want to thank Empress Judy for being with us today on the street 919 FM. So it's Friday, and I'm getting ready to get you prepared for the weekend. All right, and over the week we normally do a weekend review on a Friday, or review the week. Let me put it that way: review the week on a Friday, where we look at what has happened or what has been happening. You know what I mean? What has been happening, or what have been happening during the week that you want to talk about and reflect on. I'm seeing today the nurses of Trinidad and Tobago has taken a day off, they said, to pray. And I'm lining up an interview with the gentleman who is part and parcel of this whole rest and reflect day. So I'm supposed to talk to him in the next 3 or 4 minutes. And also, I'm trying to get Tutor, the president of Tutor, to come on and also express to us the issues teachers are facing. Also, I'm supposed to talk, I'm trying to get I'm also hearing there's a rumbling in the police service where, who is it? The social welfare department of the police service also is acting up, in the sense that they also are saying that they want their salaries to be compensated properly. So those are some of the things I'm trying to encapsulate and pull together today for you under the Constructive Talk on the Street 919 FM. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Google. Good morning. Granny here. I called to report that I'm just from the Port of Spain hospital, and everything seemed to be working. I went to do a CT scan, and I'm home by 9 o'clock, and everything seemed to be working smoothly. And I did express my solidarity with the nurses and thank them for coming out, but everything seemed to be working as normal.
Okay, thank you very much.
That's what I could report, and I'm back home at 9, and I left here about 7.
Okay, thank you very
and
much.
everything was sanitized. All the workers seemed to have been on the job, the radiologists, everybody. Nothing seemed to be untoward, at least so far, and I'm back home by 9.
Beautiful. Thank you very much, Mom.
And I told them that, I'm in solidarity because I know their position is real, And I didn't see any sign of no signs put out nowhere, no little medals, no ribbons or anything to indicate anything. So my report is excellent for them, and I thank them so far for having, come out to attend to us, and we are very grateful to them, and we pray for them in our homes during the 24 hours of prayer. Okay?
All right.
Thanks a lot, darling. Have a good day.
Same to you.
Okay.
Same to you. All right, so I'm going to get the president of the Nursing Association online and have him talk with us a little bit. And let's hear what she has to say about their, not protests, but their day of prayer today. And get him to share with us a little bit and hear from him. So don't move your dial, right? So once you don't hear me, because I'm trying to get him on the phone line, I'm trying to make contact with him. So don't move your dial. If you realize that you're hearing music, it's because I'm trying to get him on the phone line. All right. Also, you can join me on YouTube and on Facebook. Remember that YouTube and Facebook is up and running, so you can see me and you can interact with me. You can let me know where you're looking at me from, so that we can get this program on the road. All right, please. Thanks. All right, so join me on Facebook, join me on YouTube. I am live on YouTube right now. I'm also live on Facebook, I believe. Let me just make sure that you can get me on Facebook, and we will be getting in contact with the president of the Nurses Association. All right, so let me see if I can call him now and get that interview on the road. So, teachers took a blackout yesterday. The nurses are acting up. Well, the nurses are praying, and also now we're hearing the what you call them again, the Police Social Welfare Association is saying that police officers are upset with their salaries and the way things have been going for them. So I'm going to try to get in contact now, as I told you a while ago, with the president of the Nurses Association and hear how is it going? How is the day of prayer going for them? All right, so Trinidad and Tobago, this is an interesting time. Trinidad and Tobago, this is really, really an interesting time. This is an interesting time. All right, so don't touch your dial. I'm right here.
Why? Yeah. Well, I hear they say the country in recession, but thank God, salvation free. And even though we in a tight situation, Jesus came for you and for me. Some of them say tight new belt, problem from government, but Jesus don't want me about
All right, Trinidad and Tobago. So I have Mr. Stewart on the phone line today. And Mr. Stewart is the president, I believe, of the Nurses Association. Am I right, sir?
Yes, you are correct. Trinidad and Tobago, the Nurses Association president.
Right. And you are live on the Street 919 FM. I want to thank you very much for taking my call. I know you may have been wondering, what strange number is this calling me and want to get an interview? I never talked on this radio station before, but I just want to let you know that we are the radio station that defends the nation. If you want to get your message across, I just want to let you know that if you need to get your message across, you need to be on Street 919. You hear the name of the station, Street.
I am well aware of the radio station. I was wondering how come you all never called me for a comment. But definitely, I hope we build a closer relationship going forward.
All right. Thank you very much. So today is Rest and Reflect, or Pray. Today is for prayer. How to start? So, the nurses of Trinidad and Tobago, you all have been having some issues. And I remembered, I just want to put in this, I remember you from the Exodus Spaniard when you would have come to share some information with the Prime Minister on issues that are facing nurses. Right? Just want to put in a plug. I'm just giving you a little plug here. I'm a trained nurse, right?
Right.
But I wasn't trained in Trinidad and Tobago. I was trained at Mayday University in London, Croydon.
Okay.
When I came back home from London, I had problems registering with the nursing council.
Right.
And it took the hospital. It took another hospital that I used to do bank shifts at, which would have been Queen Elizabeth Hospital in London, also, which would have written to the nursing council to get me my number to see, like, to register over here.
Correct.
Now, that is a teeth pulling exercise. I just want to let you know that, huh?
Yes, yeah.
It is a teeth pulling exercise. And so I just wanted to just give you that backdrop of who you're talking to, in the sense that I'm fully aware of some of the issues that nurses would face. And I used to work at one of the private hospitals in Trinidad and Tobago.
Okay.
I worked there for quite a while. And so it was difficult for me to get into the health system here.
Yeah.
So, on that backdrop, I want you to share with Trinidad and Tobago what are some of the burning issues that the nursing profession is facing in Trinidad and Tobago.
Okay, great. Well, let me start off by saying, and I'm glad you mentioned the Exodus Spaniard, when the Prime Minister, none other than the Honorable Prime Minister, was making the rounds in terms of conversations with the Prime Minister. And this was the second leg, if I believe, if I'm correct. The first leg was in St. Augustine High School or something like that, where we had a nurse asking the Prime Minister, why is it nursing and midwifery personnel are no longer being given permanent employment and they continue to operate on short-term temporary employment? And the Prime Minister answered her by saying he wasn't aware that nursing personnel are being placed on these temporary employment. To his knowledge, permanency, nursing personnel is a permanent position. Just like police, just like teachers, just like, every other area in the public sector. So why do they feel the need to do it to nursing personnel? I followed up at the very next meeting that he had at the Exodus Spaniard and reiterated the question because he said he wasn't aware. So we wrote immediately to him, informing him of the scenario of affecting nursing and midwifery personnel. We didn't get any response, and we wrote again. So the Prime Minister, the Minister of Health, the finance minister, the chief personnel officer, the permanent secretary, none of them could say they have been caught unaware of our dissatisfaction with the current status quo of having nursing personnel working for 2, 3, 10 years on continuous temporary forms of employment, which is really a deliberate and mischievous and unethical way to deny employees who really and ought to be permanent, to deny them all of the benefits of permanent employment or even the benefits of contract employment by offering them this unethical, temporary, continuous employment.
Can I just ask one question? Is how long has this contractual arrangement has been going on?
There was one RHA, the NCRHA headed by CEO Davlin Thomas, who started this practice some 10 plus years ago. All the other RHAs was following the human resource policy laid down and approved by the Minister of Health and Cabinet, where after 6 months, you are then made permanent. After that first 6 month probationary period, they must make you permanent or let you go. If they let you go, that means you haven't shown yourself to be competent. If they see you could improve, they could extend it by 3 months. So for the max, there ought to be no nurse in Trinidad and Tobago on a temporary form of employment beyond 9 months. That is the policy and that is the laws of Trinidad and Tobago. However, as I said 10 years ago, NTRHA came up with this creative way. Let us deny the worker the ability to become employed permanently. Let's deny them even giving them contract, where we will have to pay them gratuity at the end of their contract. Let's term it continuous temporary. So this started 10 years ago with the NTRHA. And then, about 6 years ago, something happened in Trinidad and Tobago where the practice of the NTRHA now mushroomed to all of the other RHAs. Now all the other RHAs are now practicing this continuous temporary employment.
So then why didn't you all lift your voices 10 years ago in condemnation of this so that it would not have started basically I'll just use the term spread like a cancer? Because if
like
you all had if you all had stood up, right? You could correct me. If when this had started at that RHA, right? At that specific RHA, you all realize, but wait now, this RHA is giving nurses contractual employment. This is not
contract, not even contract. And this is why we want to let people know it's not even contract they're giving you. They are telling you it is not a contract. Because they know if they give you a contract, it comes with certain stipulations, like gratuity. So they're saying it is not a contract, it's just employing you on a continuous basis, but for a period of 6 months each time, 6 months or 3 months or 1 year. Okay. And let me answer that question, why we didn't do it before. Because the TTRNA was not a union before. The TTRNA was just an association, a professional association, and we relied heavily on the Public Service Association, the PSA, to speak on our behalf. That, as persons would see, did not bode well for the association. And it's the same reason why the Medical Professional Association, which was an association, MPAT, became a union to speak on behalf of doctors because they weren't getting representation from the other party. I don't want to...
But you know what you're saying there.
On behalf of ourselves. And then we decided to become a union 6 years ago.
Wow.
So we have a registration of certificate from 2014, and then we begin to mobilize, and now we are a full-fledged union representing our members. So it's only 6 years ago we could have really, championed our own cause on our own behalf. Yeah?
All right. But I want to just put in a plug for something you said there also, or just reiterate something you said, where you all were not getting proper representation, where you all were before. We're not calling any names. Where you all were before, you all were not getting proper representation. So you all decided, here what? In order for us to get proper representation, let us mobilize and formalize and create our own union so we can represent ourselves. Now, and you know what is interesting in what you're saying there is that now that you all have come together and formulated a union to speak on behalf of nurses, and you all are now saying here what we are correct me, you all are now saying here what we want to correct some of the wrongs or highlight some of the wrongs that would have been done or allowed to happen while we were not being represented properly. Correct? All right, go ahead. I just want to make sure. No, I'm doing this so that my listeners would understand clearly where you're coming from, because people thinking that you all are just making noise because But I want to make sure that it's clear where you are coming from. Go ahead.
100% correct. And of course, we don't want to be accused. We know we still would be. That is because this government in power, why are you doing this now? Why didn't you do it last? And we just want to make cases know. We became a union. We were an association. We were one of the oldest associations in Trinidad and Tobago, actually. We are 91 years old as an association. However, we're only 6 years old as a union. And it only became about because we weren't, just like MPAT felt, we weren't being able to demonstrate and put our cards on the table, because the other organization is so large and it deals with so many different sectors. Our unique voice was being heard by the powers that be, and it has left, and situations like what went on in the entirety was left to manifest and now is becoming commonplace throughout all the region. And we want to reiterate, we have been writing for the last 6 years on this issue of permanent employment. So there's no prime minister, there's no minister of health, there's no CEO, no permanent secretary, no chief personnel officer cannot say that they don't have a letter from the association trying to resolve this issue. We have had meetings with the Secretary for Health, with the very Prime Minister, with the Minister of Health, trying to resolve these issues. Even so much, when we were looking to demonstrate last year, July 1st was actually the demonstration day. We were looking to demonstrate last year through the streets of Port of Spain. We're going to leave our skeleton staff in the hospitals and come out from Queen's Park, Savannah, and march to the Ministry of Health demanding this be changed. And unfortunately, there were riots in Port of Spain 2 days before, and we had to call it off. But we had held a meeting with the Minister of Health, the Permanent Secretary, and all CEOs, and they agreed with us. But they proffered another solution. They say, look, if we can't make everybody permanent, let's give them a minimum of a 3-year contract, and they'll get gratuity at the end. We are not in agreement with that. But however, we're saying, look, even if that is a start, we'll accept that. At least those nurses who have been working would get some form of remuneration at the end of their term of employment, and then also they will have something to take to the bank. Imagine, everyone knows that in Trinidad and Tobago, you cannot go to the bank showing them any 6-month contract and expect any type of financial assistance from any financial house. You must demonstrate you have at least a 3-year contract of employment. And even if you show that, you must show them that this is not your first 3-year contract. They will give you, so for instance, the nurses, when they go, they're not even entertaining nursing personnel in terms of these 6 months and 9 months and 1 year. They're not even entertaining them. Those who have been working a while, who do have contracts, like in Tobago, I'm currently in Tobago, having mobilized the Tobago nurses, they are saying they are on 2-year contracts, so they're not even giving them in Tobago access to mortgages. They would only look at a nurse in Tobago after that nurse would have worked at least 2 or 3 cycles of contract, continuous contract. So you see, the government don't see nurses in Trinidad and Tobago. We are not part of the protective services or some of the other areas that are assured a percentage of housing stock. And even if we want to go out and purchase and build our own homes, because HSC is not giving us, we don't have access to financial institutions. They would laugh at us. Yeah?
Okay.
Besides the salary being 2013 salaries, we're not even lobbying to increase that at this point in time. We are just saying, just pay us what you have already agreed to pay us. That is all we are saying. And treat us as you have already agreed. This is actually embarrassing for me as a labor leader to be lobbying the government of Trinidad and Tobago in 2021 for things, benefits that has been granted to the labor fraternity in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. This is what Elmer Francois, Cipriani, Butler, this is what things they fought for. Vacation leave, sick leave. This is what they fought for.
All right, so
and I am in 2021 trying to get this.
All right, so let me ask you this now. I don't know, you could correct me, right?
Yeah.
The RHAs, were you ever able to sit with the CEOs of the RHAs to plead your case apart from, all right, so you said that, because I know that the RHAs are allocated a budget in order to hire the nurses and they, isn't that true?
Correct.
Right. So if the RHAs and they are allocated a budget to hire the nurses, and the RHAs and they are now, let's say, they basically neglecting their duty then, in the sense of paying the nurses and their gratuity, because I heard you mention that there are some nurses that are waiting for their gratuity for three years now.
Correct.
That is to me, you could correct me, no? That sounds like a managerial issue in the RHAs.
We have met with all CEOs of all RHAs, even the CEOs that frequently change, because there are a couple RHAs constantly change CEOs. We have met with all of them. New, old, we have met with all of them. So there's no RHA that cannot say that we have not sat down and discussed this issue at length and come up with a way forward. That is the real damning thing, you know. We have actually come up with a way forward. However, for whatever reason, and this is the reason why you really have to make noise in Trinidad and Tobago, unfortunately. You have to make noise. We don't live in a society where reason and logic works. Persons must understand how political decisions are made. They are made exclusively on political fallout or benefit. That is the only thing that politicians in Trinidad understand. We don't live in a society where you could put forward logical arguments and the other side would accept it. You must demonstrate to them that it would have a political fallout if they don't accede to your request. That is just what it is. Maybe at some point, when we come more mature, and this is demonstrate the very government that does not want an RHA, that does not want to hire persons permanently, does not want to hire essential workers permanently, with no evidence that in the foreseeable future we would not need the amount of nurses in the future, or we will not need their services, and that is the justification for having them temporary. In fact, the complete opposite is true. We need more and more nurses on an ongoing basis. The whole world is short of nurses, and you would well know that. Our nurses currently are actually being offered an incentive to come to England.
I know, and I'm telling you that is I brought up that on the radio already.
Yes.
But they are touting us. I have gotten countless emails. I have gotten hundreds of emails of them begging me, saying, hey, we trained you. We are the one who trained you. So we are the one are aware of your capabilities. But I want to just say this. I hear you where you say that the government, but I personally believe that the RHAs has a serious role to play in all of this, right? Because while we might point fingers, because I was there when the Prime Minister would have addressed you and would have asked you and was very shocked by your statements, right? Yeah. And I firmly believe that there is a detach from, because ever since this the RHA started up and from there's a detach from the ministry and the RHAs. I have recognized that there is a detach from the ministries, from the ministry and the RHA. And while the ministry might have a position on something, if the CEO and they from the different RHAs are not in sync with what the ministry wants, I think that I may be wrong, but I think that the RHAs are the ones that has to look into their hiring policies and how they.
Well, I agree with you, but I also disagree with you.
All right.
Firstly, I am personally aware that the Minister of Health has almost weekly meetings with the CEO, so he's fully aware of what is transpiring within the RHA. Secondly, we have written to the Ministry of Health and the Prime Minister and held meetings with them, so they cannot say they are not aware. So if they are continue to allow it to happen, it means they are giving their personal endorsement of it. The areas where the RHAs could be specifically blamed is for delayed gratuity, delayed pension. Imagine, it is one thing to delay someone gratuity after they have worked 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, and then their contract comes to end, and their gratuity is supposed to be paid in that very same month, and you don't pay them, and you pay them a while after. Something has to be said, and the day must be condemned. But what is even worse is when someone has retired, have no more income coming because they're not in the system anymore, and then you are saying they must wait 3-4 years before the pension begins. And this is not old age pension where persons may not have contributed. This is a mandatory RHA pension plan where all RHAs must pay into, and the fund is held by RBL and managed by RBL and ought to be paid the very next month. You stop receiving salary, you have arrived at 60, from the very next month, you should start your pension payment should be coming to you. We have nurses, I have nurses crying to me as we speak, trying to get me to get the RHA to pay them on time. And you know what happens when I call the RHA, and I could speak specifically the Northwest Regional Health Authority and their HR department, specifically, because I just have to deal with this matter just last week. They are telling me and telling the worker, why all your hurry so? The person only retired 6 months ago. They're trying to let us know this is a reasonable time frame for them. 2 to 3 years. There is no big issue. Let the person hold on. Yeah? The person must do without a form of income for 2 to 3 years to 4 years in some instance. Because this is normal for you all. They don't see something illogical by not being paid pension that you paid into the very next month after. They say you should do it out an income for the next 2 to 3 years. I mean, crazy.
I hear you. But tell me, how has the prayer, how has it been going today?
It has been going remarkably well, but the evidence, the real goal we attempt to seek is not to cause undue hardship to the population.
Right.
Every single nurse, and there are international studies with this. Unfortunately, we don't do much studies in Trinidad and Tobago, but internationally, literature is replete. In fact, one of the founding seminal research papers to Earth Human from the Institute of Medicine demonstrated for every nurse that is not so generally there's supposed to be a patient to staff ratio. Mm-hmm. So on medical surgical ward, you may have 1 to 4, 1 nurse to 4, 5 patients average. ICU is 1 to 1, high dependency unit is 1 to 2, and so on, so on. In Trinidad and Tobago, there's no standard at all. It's not even a policy. Forget law. Certain states in America and other places are making it law. Certain other areas, it's a policy, a best practice. We try to achieve that. Certain other areas will look at, the volume of work. But in Trinidad and Tobago, there's no policy at all. So you could actually go into a hospital, be critically ill, and you would be placed on a ward where there's 1 nurse to 20 plus patients. So we already compromising patient care as we speak in Trinidad and Tobago. And that's why we are saying too that we could have saved a lot more lives if we had the correct nursing numbers and if we had the correct competency of staff, we are extremely short in Trinidad and Tobago in terms of ICU nurses, and that's the justification for the Ministry of Health going to Cuba and bringing in ICU nurses. So that was the justification. And when we accept that, we are short. And one, the government is not training enough ICU nurses. Two, they are not holding on to these ICU nurses because, I mean, the sign-on bonus that some of these recruiters are offering, just the sign-on bonus, I'm not even talking about the salary and all the other perks, just the sign-on bonus for nurses like ICU, like oncology. I'm an oncology trained nurse, and I was offered 4 times my salary in Trinidad just to sign on. So for 4 months, I can make that just by signing on the line and going abroad. So this is why we are in a different position compared to some other sectors within Trinidad and Tobago, because we're in a position to say, look, we would not accept anything less than what we deserve. We will not accept it because we have options now. We have options in Canada, England, Europe, America, Saudi Arabia. So we have options. So the government cannot use the fear tactics that they may use in other areas and try to convince us otherwise. But the sad thing is, the unfortunate thing is, a country that I believe I have a contribution to make to improve the quality of healthcare in Trinidad and Tobago. This country trained me to become a nurse, and I feel I have an obligation to improve the standard of healthcare. My primary responsibility and the association's primary responsibility is to improve the quality of care in Trinidad and Tobago. And second is to ensure our nursing and midwifery population are treated adequately in terms of providing that quality care.
All right.
Unfortunately, we are unable to get the government to see.
Well, I would. Well, what I would do, I'll keep in contact with you because you're getting ready to go to a sponsor segment. So what I'll do, I'll keep in contact with you. I have your number now. So look out for some more phone calls, and we will interact and talk more about what's happening in the nursing profession in Trinidad and Tobago.
Not a problem.
Right.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much for being with me. So Trinidad and Tobago, you just heard it. We wanted to know what's going on with our nursing staff in Trinidad and Tobago, and we just got to hear from the president of the Nursing Association. So we're going for a sponsor segment now. When we come back, we're going straight to the news. So don't touch your dial. Stick and stay Trinidad and Tobago.
The views expressed are not necessarily the views of the management of the Street 919 FM.
Tired of spending thousands of dollars on medical visits and medication, not getting any results? Fed up of fighting the bulge and all those expensive products and equipment that don't work? Then come to Health and Fitness Clinic and Wellness Spa. Discover our drug-free, no side effects, pain relief, total health diagnostic testing and treatment, physiotherapy, aromatherapy massages, electrode acupuncture therapy, and weight loss programs. We specialize in diabetic, cancer nutritional care, and natural therapy, kidney and liver diseases, and much more. To book an appointment, call us at 492-7397, 336-4953, or 289-6363. Health and Fitness Clinic and Wellness Spa, located in Tunapuna and Pleasantville.
Good day to Trinidad and Tobago, to all my loyal listeners, those of you around the world, at home, in the offices, in the Maxis, taxis. It's a pleasure being here. And today we're going to be talking, continue our topic on healthier products. Now, our healthier products we create to have a bread mix here, and we have one of the things I have found out there is that a lot of persons have become allergic to wheat. So those of you who found that if you eat, when you eat flour, that you become bloaty, right? So you just eat a basap shot, or you just eat a roti, or you just eat some bread or fried bake or coconut bake, understand? And when you finish, you find yourself bloaty, or you eat some crab and dumpling, we Chinese. You feel yourself bloaty, or you eat some pasta, you find yourself bloaty, and then the next thing, you're constipated, you cannot go off. That is because you have become allergic to wheat. Some of you also, that when you finish eating wheat and stuff, you find that you have a headache, right? This nudging headache, you understand? You can't understand where you get the headache from. That again is because you have acquired the allergies to wheat. Now, why is this the case? Because these days, the wheat that they are making is GMO, genetically modified organisms. So it is not the real thing that we used to have from long time, and so therefore our body is rejecting these false things that they have made in the lab, and so that is why you are creating the allergies. Okay, you find also that sometimes you find the sinus will act up. Okay, then you have the irritable bowel syndrome. Some of you will end up with piles, some of you will end up with hemorrhoids, some of you will end up also with Crohn's and Graves' disease, which I have a patient who recently had that same issue because not eating enough fiber, eating a lot of pastries, right? And the pastries, remember, make from the flour. So those of you love a cake and instead of pastries, they get constipated. And next thing you know, when they bleed, you see the tools and you wipe, you see blood, you see mucus inside these tools. That is because you have created wheat allergies. So we have our product called our bread mix. Our bread mix, you can use it. It is cassava flour. And this is gluten-free bread mix. It is enriched with omega-3. It has fiber. It has magnesium. It prevents the bloating and the constipation. Now, inside of it, we have chia seed and flax seed and sesame seed and thing inside of this mixture. Okay, so which makes it healthy, which gives you the fiber to be able to go off and all those things, and it's cassava flour. Okay, now this, you can use our bread mix, and our bread mix is very cheap compared to those foreign things you realize be buying from all over the place. Our bread mix is 800 grams. It's a big bag that you can make at least 2 bread, or you can make bake, or you can make, say, sada with it. You can make your dumplings with it. You can make a cake with it, right? So therefore, you can do all different sort of stuff with our bread mix, right? And you're going to have a healthier cake, a healthier sweet bread, healthier dumplings, and all those things. Now, also, so you're going to be looking for it, our healthy bread mix inside of the groceries, and you'll find it in the groceries, as we said. You'll find it in Payless Supermarket on St. Vincent Street. You have Mirage West Side. We have Southern Food Basket, right? We also have it in Westby's, both in the east and in the west. You're going to find it in also the food basket, even the food basket. So you can ask if you're not there, just go to the manager and ask them, do you have the Healthy O products? And if not, you can give them the number. Our number is 336-4935, so they can contact us, and we can be able to bring it in your grocery near you, right? Okay, so people are looking at those things, which is very healthy. It helps prevent cancer. It is very good for those men with prostate problem. Ladies, this particularly, this bread mix is excellent for you to use. Those of you with polycystic ovaries and fibroids, okay? And those of you having menstrual problems and all those things, very good for you to use, right? We also have our cake mix, and our cake mix is also prepared with the cassava flour, the chia seed, flaxseed, and those things. It makes beautiful cake, right? And we also have our pancake mix. And our pancake mix, you don't have no eggs, so therefore your cholesterol is good. So there's no eggs. It tastes really good, and you can do a variation to it by adding in your bananas or pawpaw or pineapple or pumpkin, and create different flavor pancakes with our mix. All you have to do is just add water to our mix, right? No milk. It is dairy-free, gluten-free. The same thing with our cake. Dairy-free, gluten-free. So you just mix it, add your water to it, or you can add orange juice to it for your cake to have different flavors, or the same way of pineapple juice, and we can have pineapple upside down cake. Very healthy, okay? And you can make muffins out of these things also for your children. So people, stay healthy, stay blessed, stay fit. Check out our healthier products.
Searching for the right blend of seasonings that doesn't have MSG or salt and is totally natural? Then try our Healthy O line of natural seasoning and herbs, which are ideal for persons with diabetes, high blood pressure, cholesterol, and poor circulation. Look for Healthy O in your neighborhood grocery or mini mart.
Let's go and take that one. Yeah. Say, oh, I did get one. Father will provide. Jesus will supply. Good Lord, more than enough. More than enough. My Jesus will supply. All when my cupboard them empty, Jesus will provide. Badang, in the presence of my enemy. Remix, watch it. Corona in my country, Jesus will provide. So when me don't have nothing, me no worry. Jesus will always provide for me, cause Jesus will provide. Jesus will provide. Or when my cupboard them empty, Jesus will provide. Madam, Jesus will provide. Jesus will provide. So when you can't control your salary, watch it. He better than Kiss and Quello. He keep on putting bread on my table. Lindos and Freddy, them ready. Jesus Christ got the recipe. He's my chief baker. So my bread basket always run over. So it overflow. And now I know. Jesus will provide. Jesus will provide. Or when my cupboard them empty, Jesus will provide. Baba, Jesus will provide. Jesus will provide. So when you can't control your salary, watch it. And He's my provider, my Jehovah Jireh, and my supervisor. So my blessing run over. And so it overflow. And now I know, I like this part, watch it. It's like you're doing it for spite. No matter what, Jesus will provide. Jesus will provide. Yes, He will provide. I will not go over them empty. Jesus, this one is for the elders, Jesus will provide. Yes, He will provide. So when they can't find your medicine in the pharmacy, Jesus will, Jesus will provide.
Expressed are not necessarily the views of the 919 FM.
Looking for a safe and relaxed professional massage therapist and nutritionist? Look no further. Nature's Touch with Empress Judy and Associates offers a natural approach to better health. Treat yourself to a professional massage therapy and nutrition advice in a safe and relaxed atmosphere. Rejuvenate your body